Hey loves, you see the news. You know what's popping on all of your favorite blogs. I'm your host, Falashade, the Accountability Accountant, and welcome to another episode of You See the News. Okay, y'all, it is so much going on. And because I started the show a little bit late, I'm going to use this opportunity to catch y'all up a little bit because I know you've been seeing the news because I've been seeing the news and you've been wanting to hear me talk about it. Okay, so right now, as you guys know, Young Thug, Gunna, and the whole YSL crew has been indicted on RICO cases, on a RICO case, a racketeering case, right? So if you don't know what a racketeering case is, a racketeering case is basically when they're saying that you're operating as a group to conspire and to do crimes as a group, okay? So that's like racketeering. You're collectively working together. And so the issue at hand with that is that, Young Thug and Gunna are like popular black rappers. And I'm just so devastated to even talk about this on this episode of You See the News because it's devastating to see our black men constantly in the news about being jailed, murdered, and everything else. Okay, so the prosecutors are basically saying that the YSL, instead of it being his Young Thug's record label, it is basically Young Thug's gang, and he's the head of the gang and everything else. And I'm not here to agree or dispute any of that. I'm just here to talk about the impact of Young Thugs and Gunna's being caught up in all of this mess. Okay, so first things first, if you guys don't know this, right, when you actually get arrested, you no longer have control over your finances. And see, this is why I wanted to talk about this because a lot of people don't know that you don't have control over it. Like, you will have to literally appoint someone else that you trust or have your attorney or your financial advisor manage your money. And you basically don't have no control. So that's detriment number one to Young Thug and Gunna being able to really build generational wealth, is that they're incarcerated. And because they're incarcerated right now, they lose control over their finances. Yes, he can be in the jail. They can be in the jail and be like, yeah, pay this, yeah, send this, yeah, this. But the reality is, how much control do you have being locked up over your finances? They're going to have to appoint a financial advisor, or their parents, their mom, their sister, baby mother, whoever that they trust to manage their finances. And let's be honest, because most of us are the first millionaires in our families, a lot of our families are not astute or financially literate to be able to manage millions of dollars and to really be able to manage their estates and things like that. So I don't think that this will be a positive impact to Young Thugs and Gunna's financial well-being or to their generations to come, because they are incarcerated. So guys, I think someone has said this a long time ago: the moment you guys make it big, you may have to let go of the hood. Like, you may have to walk away from all of that mess, y'all. Because I haven't really seen too many black people get to the top and also are dealing with the people that they grew up with. Like, even with me, I haven't been back to my neighborhood. I don't associate with any of my past. Well, not to say like the past, but the people that we done dirt with, I don't talk with them anymore. So with that being said, we have to kind of step away from those type of individuals when we get into the limelight. And that's exactly what Young Thug and Gunna failed to do. They failed to separate themselves from the pack. And now look. So now both of them have lost control over their finances. The second thing, they've lost control over their money, their revenue generating activities. Most celebrities, if they don't travel, if they don't go on tour, if they're not creating hits and things like that, or having events and whatever that they do, right? If they're not out to be able to do that, then how are they generating money to maintain their present expenses? So let's say, for example, you get arrested today, right? Which I don't, God forbid that on anybody, right? Let's say you get arrested today. You don't have control over your finances, right? And so from today forward, you're unable to generate any revenue. However, all of your expenses, all of the debt that you had is still there. So that means Gunna and Young Thug is going to have to use the money that they have sitting there to maintain their bills. So once again, this is also a detriment to them building generational wealth. Is because what if they didn't have their finances in order, wasn't debt free, and have a lot of payments that are coming out every month that they were banking on being able to constantly make. And the reason why I say this is because some financial advisors will say, oh, okay, well, your present income is 10 grand. So only spend 5,000 on your present living expenses. Okay, so that means Young Thug and Gunna have to make at least $5,000 every month, regardless of what's saved, what's invested, to be able to cover their present expenses. And the fact that they're not here anymore, well, not here, they're in jail, they're unable to make that amount of money. And some of you might say, oh, Flusha, they might have residuals. I'm not going into all of that, y'all. I'm just talking about them as the artiste. I'm not talking about them selling t-shirts. I'm not talking about them getting royalties off of their songs and all of that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the money that they were physically generating by them being out and home. And that has actually ceased. And the fact that they cannot generate that much revenue can be detrimental to them building generational wealth. Okay. So you see the news. Guys, right now, if you're just coming in or you're just catching a replay or whatever, we're talking about Young Thug and Gunna's incarceration and how that impacts their ability to build generational wealth. So yeah, so if you guys like the content or you like this video, please like and subscribe the video. So I can know that you guys want me to talk about the news and to get my perspective on things. Okay. So let me know by liking and subscribing and leave a comment. I would love to, talk with you guys and get your point of view of things. And like I said, be nice now, because if you curse me out, I will curse you out back. Give you a disclaimer. Okay. I'm not the one. All right. So, all right. So Young Thug and Gunna situation is detrimental because they're not in control. Right. Okay, and then they may have debt or present monthly recurring expenses that they need to physically be able to generate revenue to maintain. And then thirdly, the person that's going to control their money, could they trust them? Would they steal the money? Like, you've heard so many horror stories about Black successful entrepreneurs or celebrities that get taken advantage of by their managers and their financial advisors in situations just like this. Okay. So I hope that when these guys do come out, that the people that is managing their money do it well. Do it like my girl Keisha K, or Gucci left her all that money. Gucci came home stacked. So whoever is holding Young Thugs and Gunna's money, make sure you do that thing right, or contact a financial advisor that you can trust, not no one that's within the industry. To be honest with you guys, I wouldn't really trust too many financial advisors in the industry right now, because they know and can, well, everybody knows they're arrested. Let's really be honest. Anybody can really take advantage, but find someone that you guys can trust if you are managing someone finances that have been incarcerated, and do them right. All right. So guys, we're going to go into our next news. Look, y'all see the news. You see it. All right, Johnny Depp done won the case, right? Johnny Depp done won, all right? Johnny Depp done won. And so look, Amber Heard, you done messed it up now, because on Instagram, Facebook, everybody talking about, and they say believe women, believe all women. And you done messed it up for all of us, girl, okay? Like, yes, y'all still believe women. Just be very picky on the women that you decide to actually uh, believe. Okay, all right. So yeah, just be mindful. Okay, so Johnny Depp won the case, and Amber Heard actually, well, it's like a win-win for everybody, honestly, because Amber ended up alrighty. So as you guys can see, Johnny Depp wins defamation trial against Amber Heard. Jury awards him $15 million in damages. So, truth be told, Depp total damages were reduced to 10.35 million, and the juror also awarded 10 million in damages to Heard. Okay, so Amber Heard um, also won as well. But what was interesting to me, um, let me just make sure I'm reading this right. Heard scored a small victory as the jury found partly in favor of her defamation countersuit, awarding her $2 million in compensatory damages and no punitive damages. And then Johnny Depp was awarded $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. Okay, so guys, tax law basically say that compensatory damages are not taxable, okay? They are not taxable, but punitive damages are taxable. And so the issue is this. All this case is so tricky, and I know it's going to be a tax court case possibly arising out of this, simply because depending on how the case was actually initially brought to light, in terms of was the defamation case surrounding Johnny's Depp brand or Johnny Depp the person, okay? And so if it was for the business, right? Then guess what? They may have to claim it as income. And this situation is very, very, very tricky because normally compensatory damages, and I'm going to stop sharing to show you guys Internal Revenue Code. Compensatory damages are normally not taxable, right? But in this particular case, there might be, depending on how the case was brought up. Okay. So the IRS say the general rule of taxability for the amounts received from settlement of lawsuits and other legal remedies, right, is Internal Revenue Code Section 61 that states all income is taxable from whatever source derived unless exempted by another section of the Internal Revenue Code. Section 104 provides an exclusion from taxable income with respect to lawsuit settlements and awards. However, the facts and circumstances, see, this is where Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation gets tricky because it says here, based on the facts and circumstances surrounding each settlement payment must be considered to determine the purpose for which the money was received, because not all amounts received from a settlement are exempt from taxes. The key question to ask is, what was the settlement and its corresponding payments, and was it intended to replace? Okay, so this is where it gets extremely tricky because in normal situations, like I said, compensatory damages are not taxable, but it actually really. So yeah, guys. So it is so much going on in the news. Once I'm able to figure out and do a little bit more research on Johnny Depp situation, the lawsuit, like was it Johnny's Depp business that's suing Amber Heard, or is it Johnny? Like I say, I just have to do some more research, guys, and then I'll come back and talk to you about that. But you guys see the news, you see what's going on. If you guys want me to talk about any particular news that's relative to money, taxes, businesses, generational wealth, and anything that impacts the monetary system, then definitely share that video with me and let me know so I can discuss it, or let me know the news so I can discuss it. If you guys liked this video and enjoyed it, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe so me and my team will know that you see the news, and you want to get my input and my opinion on what's popping out there. So yeah, guys, you see the news. I'll see you guys in our next episode.